Yo, yo, yo. My machine, did you hear that? Did it catch it? The pressure foot went down right when I put the thing on. Oh, I have my face cam on. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, that is not who we are today. Is this on? Wow. I'm not very acquainted with this screen. Let's see, what's this? Oh, okay. Anyway, how's it going? I was just getting my tension right. You heard the rest of it? Yeah, it was so funny. It was like it punctuated it. I added a little light here. Does that look? How's that look? Right here. It wasn't easy. I was just checking my tension, making sure. This is the one I just sewed, right? Let's go between these two. Yeah, that looks pretty good. There's just this like little sweet spot, and if I go a little past it, the thread won't stay in the tension disc. It's like it squeezes it out, you know? It expels it. You guys were all here chatting early. That's why I decided to start early. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Rose. Hi, Malcolm. Yeah, notifications for YouTube are not trustworthy. Hi, Christina. Hi, Nathmi. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Tanya. Yeah, it looks a little better, huh? It's honestly really, really hard to get lighting there. I feel like it's a little bright, but with the denim, maybe, ouch, there's a pin there. Having it like focused helps. So yeah, I think the notifications depends on a lot of things. I've stopped getting notifications of any comments on my channel, like just full stop. So I have to check it, which I do anyway. It's like it. So anyway, hi Rachel. You got a pool party going on there, Rachel? Hi Tammy. Hello from California. I'm not in Hawaii. Hello from California. Anyway, we are finishing up these jeans today. We're close. I probably should have bound this first and then changed my thread. But that's okay. We'll do that later. Because I'm not going to bind this. I don't have to bind it. It's up to you guys. We have belt loops to do. Oh, I could have overlocked this first. I have now blue thread on the serger. This was a mistake. I was thinking I'd only do the red on the center front fly area just because I thought it looks good. Ooh. Rachel, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. You know what? Oh, wait. It might be Fabric Mart. I think it's the only time I've ordered from Fabric Mart. I feel like it is. But I have another piece in my stash that's slightly stretch. And I only bought one denim from them. So it's that one or the stretch denim. Most of the fabric I buy is from Hearts because it's just so convenient for me. But I do feel like, I don't know, it's heavier. It's a pretty basic color, you know. I wanted something kind of vanilla. So non-stretch, oops. All right, we're doing belt loops, we're doing a waistband today, side seams, inseams will be flat felled. And these are shaping up really nice. I think they look pretty good. I think I might get my bar tack out and do that little spot here. I'm still nervous about it. It looks okay, you know, so. Oh, nice, Tammy. Well, welcome. Lives aren't for everybody, that's for sure. Meaning not everybody likes a live stream. But it is a really nice way to be able to like chat and answer questions or just see what you guys are all up to. Really, Julie? That's funny. Hi, Terry. Terry. Fashion Fabrics has some pretty good denim. Oh, that's good. Terry has a favorite place. She buys denim. That's Mama said so. All right, well, Michael was just in here. I don't think he saw the jeans, but he probably noticed them a little bit. Not that they're a huge surprise. He only saw that. That's all he saw. He was probably relieved there wasn't something on the back. This kind of still torques me. Maybe we could just fix that right now. No. If I do that, like what I don't like is that when I attached the, see, it's so dark. When I attached the pocket, you know, I went up, down, over, and it's sticking up above this little hem stitch. Whereas on this side, it coincidentally lined up with the hem stitch. I'm only detail oriented so far, you guys, you know that. Oh, that's right, Nick of Time, that's what it is, yeah. Ooh, Nancy, nice. Sorry about your washing machine. I saw you post that in the live chat last night. Washing machine, right? Really, Julie? Oh. Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, I've bought from Nick of Time before. I'm always worried I'm going to get more than I asked for from them. That's I know that's a strange complaint, but I'm like, I did not need 2 yards of this. I only needed a 1/4 yard, and I had to buy a yard. Now I have 2 yards. So, what the heck? Stop that. There we go. All right, well, let's get to it. We are pretty much on the home stretch. So we're going to do our inseam first, the flat fell, because once we do the side seams, that'll be too hard to do. I know, exactly. Somebody has to really study his butt to see that. I know, and they shouldn't be, right? It still bugs me, you know? Oh, that's so strange. Oh, Nancy, I'm sorry. That's frustrating. All right, well, we're starting at the bottom. I added an extra, nope, we're not doing that. Oh, I lost my seam rubber yesterday. I have a spare right here, but it fell on the floor and I can't find it. We're not doing this right sides together. I don't know why I started that way. We always start our first few stitches a little bit off, no matter if I'm fully aware of that, it still happens. Made cargo, ooh. You know, I don't know what it is about jeans. Like there's definitely some sort of mystique about sewing them, but I like it. I like the top stitching opportunities. I like flat felling. I like zipper flies. I like waistbands. It's got kind of it ticks all the boxes for sewing for me. I was just thinking, because I was out and about in the world, seeing real humans for a lot lately. And I was thinking like, oh wait, let's see. We're gonna do this. This is the front. So actually, I'm gonna start on the other side. And that's because with the flat felt seam, your first seam is visible. And I would like that to be my top thread. So we're gonna start at this side. Yeah. This is the 3rd time I've started this. Hi Donna, how's it going? Yeah, that does sound like a bummer, Nancy. We got a new washer and dryer last summer. It's dark green. Can't even tell really. But that was kind of cool. The one thing I think that is risky about it is that the washer and the dryer, they're stacking. It's one whole unit. But if you understood where we had come from before that, we had stacking and they were one on top of the other, sitting on top of each other. They moved so much during the washing and drying process, I thought one was gonna jet through the wall someday. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get up to the knee here. So they made a racket. There was a towel stuffed between them by the previous owners. So that was a good clue. All right, so usually some pants, you'll find that between the knee and the intersection of the rise here, the back will be a little shorter. It's very subtle. It's not hard to ease in. You might not even notice it, but you just want to make sure that your hem to knee is the same on each side, and then that you ease it in the rest of the way. In other words, don't go from hem to hem and let it get off right here at the crotch point. You want to make sure that everything aligns when you get there. Otherwise, torquing will ensue. So yeah. Yeah, I saw you were looking for another pattern, right? Right, Nancy? Morgan's kind of your thing. They are costly, Julie. But there's not going to be a Brit today in the chat making me feel very American with my huge washer and dryer, because I've used your washers and dryers there and they don't work. Nothing gets dry. It was awful. Sorry, Julie, but no. It was cute and compact and in the kitchen. Appreciate that. I also wanted my clothes to get dry so I could actually continue with my other loads. They do not. Not in Scotland. All right. Just like lengthening here. Not lengthening, but making sure these lengths match here. I'm reaching over here and pulling the underlayer. That's what you see me doing there. And like I said at the beginning of the cutting stream and Thursday's stream, did make a few minor modifications to this pattern, so I could do this because the seam allowances on this are usually 3/8. You could do a flat fell with less than 5/8, but with the intersection of the rise, that crotch point there, it's so thick. The more you give yourself, the easier it'll be. All right. So this was the back facing up. So now when I flat fell to the front, we'll see that stitch. Let's hope it's somewhat straight. I do not start off the fabric. Is that what you mean? The Jilly jeans, that's cute. That's fun to say. Now I'm gonna trim the front down. Hi Elizabeth, how's it going? I almost asked for your help pronouncing something yesterday because I'm pretty sure it's a street in Boston. I even looked it up. I couldn't find it because it was the name of a new pattern. And I just had this feeling it looks really obvious, like how you say it. And I was like, there's no way it'll be obvious. You know what I mean? So I asked them and I was right. And even she was like, oh, I'm glad you asked. I've been saying this wrong too. So I was like, I need someone in Massachusetts. Yeah, I am going to wrap the seams together. Julie always makes me sweat, man. I think that this leaderboard thing with the number 1 and 2 really makes the chat look messy. Yeah, right? Exactly, Elizabeth. Exactly. Yeah, we're just gonna trim down 1 and wrap the longer one around it. Do you see what I see? I see something not good that we got to fix. This back rise is just my nemesis. I'm not cutting it off. I'm only cutting one side very badly, by the way. You mean you'll use instructions? Yeah, they are notorious for that. Is it a newer pattern, the Jilly jeans, or older? Because they do have, I think, like more instructions. You know, what kind of surprised me recently is, and I don't think we've talked about this, but I'm sorry, I'm really hacking this seam. You shouldn't hack it. You should do a nice parallel cut. But layers on patterns are somewhat new, aren't they? Right? Why I'm getting a notification. Currently keyframe. What? YouTube, don't play with me right now. Because, you know, so I don't have very many patterns from the home sewing world, the current home sewing world, before I started live streaming. Like when you saw me start live streaming, I had like, what, 3 patterns? I don't know. Because I just drafted them myself before that. And I wasn't sewing a lot of clothing for myself, only like 1 day a year, right? So when I look back at some of those patterns like ginger jeans or like really popular ones, the Scout Tee, the Archer, kind of like legendary home sewing patterns, some of them, right? They're not with layers. And that was only 7 years ago, right? 7 years. I mean, maybe those came out before me, like streaming. I don't think they came out like then. So, see you, Tammy. Have a good work day. Yeah, so that's been kind of interesting. I see it a lot. Granted, a couple of my patterns, this is so kind of out of context, but I got them through Spoonflower when they had sprout patterns. Oh wait, I saw an error on my back rise. Please remind me to address that, because that we gotta fix. There was a little bit coming out. This denim is thready. Oh, 2012? Oh yeah, there's no instructions for those. How long has Style Arc been around? Does anybody know? And do you want me to zoom in a little bit? How about we zoom? Zoom. I almost said deactivate. Oh, of course it darkened. Like that? That looks kind of dark. How about we do this, then this, and we can brighten a tiny bit more. It's not great. It's not great. I mean, I am white, but I am not. I'm using some Gutermann 70. I'm trying to bring it over here for you. I do too, Nancy. So I was thinking, like, that's interesting. I would think that by now some of these patterns have layers and I would have gotten an update. But because I got them through Sprout patterns on Spoonflower, I won't get an update because they, what's the word? Well, Sprout patterns isn't around anymore. So, and I'm sure I could reach out and ask nicely to the companies, but I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? I like that you like that, Nancy, because I feel like that's the one thing people don't like, and they don't buy them because of that. So, So it's good to know they do know some of their customers. But I am curious, how long has Style Arc been around? Does anybody know that? Who's Googling? Hey, Fiona. 2010. Hope everything's going a little better now, Fiona, and the parents are being taken care of there. Okay, we're approaching the thick spot. It would be a little easier to do this if you pressed it first. Just FYI. Let me get my awl out. See it? There's my boo-boo. Do you see it right there? Right there. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. It'll come undone more if we look at it. Okay, well, now I'm regretting this little stitch here, so let's get rid of that. All right. Come here. Okay. Just don't want this in my way. We just need to secure it now. Quick, quick, quick. Oh, okay, good. Told you there's going to be a Brit in the chat today busting my hump. Her name begins with a J. Okay. I really do not set myself up for success for doing these things. Because look, there's another one right here. Or that's the same one. This is something I really need to work on, is setting myself up for this kind of stuff. Because like my other problem right now is that right here, there's a very tiny back stitch right here. And if I can't get it into, see, it's already coming undone. That's what makes me nervous. If I can't get it hidden in here, it'll look messy. And that's why I was backstitching along the edge there. I just didn't backstitch close enough to the edge. Just want to make sure there's nothing else under here. Okay, good. I know my big fat fingers are in the way. I want a sewing machine that has a little hammerhead right here so I can just go, all right, can you mash this for me really quick? It's also really hot in here today. Okay. The thickness isn't too bad since it is offset. However, there's a lot of stuff going on right here. Phew. Okay. Oh. Terry with all the good tips. That's a great idea. So then do you just leave them long? You don't backstitch, you leave them long hanging off and burn them? Oh, maybe Nancy. Are you Julie? Oh no. Her neighbor came in and we have her inside the house. Okay, good. And you're just disassociating by hanging out in my stream, Fiona. if anyone wants kind of a very non-sewing but fun YouTube series to watch right now, and if you have like teenagers, maybe you've heard of this YouTuber. His name's Ryan Trahan. But he is doing this really fun series where he and his wife are going to 50 states in 50 days. And they're raising money for St. Jude, which is a children's hospital here. And they're doing a really good job on this series. It's not something I normally watch. Like, his stuff's always really good. He's a really, really big YouTuber for a reason. And it's very family friendly. So if you have a family, you can watch it. But it's been really cool. I've been late to it. They're like already 40 states in, but it's really good. You can always, okay, I burn where I need to and carry on. Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's a small ball of plastic. So yeah, so you just kind of trim and then a little bit and then burn it. Burning is really handy. I just never really got into it because it was, you know, when you're doing it a lot, the fumes can really give you a headache and it's not good for you, you know. So, yep, that's it. Home stretch, baby. Why am I so warm? Like, is it this top? Like, this is linen cotton, right? Okay. Let's be honest and check it over. That looks okay. Okay, good. But this guy right here does not look okay. So let's fix this. That is just a loose thread, you know. Okay, great, Fiona, good luck. And then, okay, when we do the side seams, I'm just gonna serge them off camera because it's just 2 long seams, nothing fancy. But when I do that, I need to do the belt loop thingy too at the same time. You hear the Jays out there? They're really mad at somebody right now. Oh wait, let's make sure we trim it in the back too. Well, that looks clean. That looks really clean. Look at that. This is the inseam I just did. Me like. Very nice. Why does that look so clean? Like, why am I questioning it? But it looks really good. I'm suspicious. All right, can I hide my back stitch very well? Because I feel like doing my weird little obsessive trick of tying off the things is not the best idea along a rise because it's just going to wear out. But this will be low enough, I don't think that'll show. Nobody better be looking there, huh? Okay. Let's trim some threads here. Let's marvel at this. This looks really nice. Look at that. Why does this look so clean? Did I forget something? Why does this look so good? Like, I'm actually... Do I just never look at it? I think I just never look at it. I think that's all it is. Yeah. Yep, the parental calamities continue. All right. Side seams. Don't doubt myself. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I've just never looked, maybe. Now I'm going to go look. See, maybe that's all it is. Could be. Well, if anyone watches that YouTube series or one, I think it would be really fun to do a sewing version. Like our version of that, where it's like, all right, I'm going to do something sewing related every day while you travel. I need to take down this brightness. It's crazy. Why aren't you guys complaining? I really need you guys to complain more. Because you have Christina in here in the comments after a live stream saying, can't you make that brighter? Why didn't you guys say anything? You know? Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Yeah, exactly, Christina. But in the format of how he's doing this would be kind of cute, you know, where you wake up every day, you have your little routine, you go find something sewing related to do, whether it's, you know, going to a fabric store, which would likely be a lot, or museum things. It'd be a fun travel series. And Michael would love a reason to just be in an RV for a while. He's really into the overland thing right now. Sorry, I don't know much about it, but it does sound really cool. Or maybe we don't do an RV. I don't know. Oh, really? Oh, maybe it does. It kind of spreads out the brightness. I'm certainly not going to Dunkin' and ordering iced coffee with, what does she like? Something cookie dough sprinkle. No, no. You guys are going to hate how I eat. Okay, we got one side seam. Okay, good, good, good. All right, well, I think this little light, look at the difference it's making. Big difference, huh? It's warmer. I don't think there's anything wrong with it being warmer, that's for sure. Yes, I have been wondering that, Rachel. I actually think that too. Yeah. All right. I only have a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the side. It came with 3/8. I added an 1/8. Mainly because when I sew a seam that has serging, I really like the seam to be next to the serger, like a little less than 1/8 of an inch away. I don't know what it is about that. I just like the way that looks. So, like my serger, it has a seam built in. Like I could take this and just sew this whole side seam with my serger, and it does have a seam, but my serger, the serging looks like this. So this has a seam built into it. It's not parallel to the serging. My old serger did that. It was much nicer that way. But because I would still sew it with a regular machine, because I like to, I felt like I could let go of that feature. And I just wanted a really approachable serger. The last one was great. I still have it. It's really loud though. And yeah. Yeah, better with the light, right? Okay. I love it when everything lines up really nice. So now we're at the serging stage. This is that, let's get rid of this. Let's clean up a few things while we're in here. This is probably what Terry would burn, these little tiny threads. This right here, do I not have a needle on this thing? You can tell this is not meant to hold a lot of pins, but they're all kind of, they're all congregating there. I have 3 pin cushions in here. Let me find the one with needles on it. And let's weave those in before we forget. This will work. Oh, my little quail, it's a little quail stitch marker my friend made. Yeah, me too, Elizabeth. It's kind of my lazy girl way to make it look like binding along the rise. Oh, so this really short one is going to be the hardest. So I'm going to poke my needle in here first. And I'm putting it, I don't know if you can see, but putting it between the 2 rows of stitches here. Should have done this before I did the side seams. Just making sure that the needle's not showing. And then I'm just going to thread. I am kind of embarrassed how long it took me to come up with this. Like when your thread is too short to, you know, use the needle. Because I know I did not invent that. I'm sure people have been doing that for forever. But yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. I'm just burying, and I wish I would put my needle in closer to where the knot is. I'm also going to double check and make sure it doesn't show. Yeah. Oh yeah, see, this one's really frayed. I hate making it shorter, but this kind of thread, it's plied, so it comes apart very easily. Oof, that is just not enough. Yeah, the thread is shorter than your needle. That's basically it. I can't see. I barely have enough to bend around. And now these guys, we'll go this direction for these guys. Maybe we can get both of these in there. I picked kind of a stout needle. I had my eye exam on Monday, and I feel like since then, my eyesight's gotten like 10 times worse. I'm sure it's just a optical illusion. Unnecessary pun that I'm keeping. All right. All right, what else do we need to clean up? I think everything else is looking okay. All right, so let me overlock these here. Sorry, it's gonna be a little boring for a second. And I'm gonna bring the belt loops over. I'm gonna do one side of this as well. Kicking the needle and not the thread to make the threading easier. I tried it where kicking the needle and not the thread. What does that mean? So meaning you hold the thread and use the needle to go onto the thread? Is that what that means? Oh, licking. Oh, licking the needle. Oh. I saw that, Malcolm, right? You know, whatever it takes to get a decent prescription these days. All right, sorry I'm way over here. Oh, I got a, I'm just gonna chat at you. Can you even see me over here? There's my Serger. Do not kick a needle. Yeah. Note to self. I got this kit the other day to pad my dress form so I can add different fit issues to her, and it's really fun. Okay, we're gonna overlock one side seam. I'm gonna do that density thing to like make the stitches close together. The weight is heavy. Get all these threads into the side seam. Look at this thread. What is going on with this? It's not even in the thing. What the heck? Oh, I got lucky. All right, one more. I like my serging to look good on the fronts because we're going to push it toward the back. So. What's that noise? Oakley dokley. I'm not sure. You know, I really wish I made more videos about some of the things I'm doing in here, and it's just really a time thing. But this kit in particular, it is marketed that way for a dress form, but it does have this really funny thing. Like, they expect you're gonna want to use some of these on yourself as well to look curvy and sexy. It says something kind of funny that way. And there is only one, like, I want it to like make the belly look fuller, but there are multiple sizes for a booty. So that was kind of fun, you know. There are bust enhancers and a belly, and what's the other things? There's a lot. I took photos of everything as I unboxed. It comes in a really small package, and then it goes floof, right? So, and after I ordered that, I have had it in my like little list that I've been saving for a couple of years or more. And I finally just recently decided to get it. And then I decided to go to Pattern Con. I registered for that, and then the thing arrived like a few days after that. And coincidentally, at Pattern Con, someone is teaching how to pad your dress form. So I hope I get that class. I asked for it as my first choice because I think that'll be fun to see what she does. There's a really interesting podcast episode on articles of interest about, God, I wish Shem was here. He'd remember which episode it is. But it's about it's a museum that puts on an annual show, and they buy all of the hosiery, stockings, like women's nylon stockings they can find, and they put multiple layers of that over the dress forms, and then they can pad them. And I thought that was such a good hint on how, if you were trying to permanently pad your dress form, to use the nylons, because it's going to hold it compressed and smooth. And so obviously the dress forms for a museum are probably going to be not very realistic body shapes anyway, but they're trying to probably make the dress form fit the thing that it was, like the body it was made for. And so, you know, that they're less concerned about, they're not marketing a garment. they're showing you something that was made for somebody custom, and each person's different. So I thought that was really an interesting thing. Now this, where I'm going with that, this kit, it actually comes, can you see her? With a, I have this top over it, but do you see there's a sleeve that it comes with? So it's a full body sleeve, like sock. So here, there's the armholes, and it goes up to the neck. So it's like it's like a sock. And so that is really nice because you can reach through the armhole and put bust things in, or reach through under to put the belly or the butt. Hi, Kira. So that has kind of been really interesting, you know. And I've only played with it a little bit. But, and this is pretty snug. The sock is pretty snug. It was not easy to get onto the dress form. It's going to stay there probably, mainly because there's a few pins that I have on my dress form so I can feel the style lines like a princess seam or whatever. But maybe exploring the idea of the hosiery, I think, is kind of intriguing, because you can even get hosiery in your own skin tone if you wanted, so that maybe you could see fabrics on your dress form and your skin tone. So I think there's a lot of potential there. So I'm curious to see how this gal like teaches the padding out the dress form. So it'll be kind of neat. So anyway, you think having right and left sides of project matches overrated? Sorry, so oh, are you doing something like that? All right, so here's my carriers, my belt loops. Gosh, I don't actually like sewing these. This is partly the reason I don't do these very often. And they look really good on the pair of jeans I made for him, so there must have been really, like, the way she told you to do it or something. I don't know. These are kind of wide belt loops, but I'm just folding it in thirds. So... oh, that's right, you're making the pack like that. That sounds like a really fun project. I'm excited to see it. Oh, you love the top. Yeah, me too. She's the only one that gets to wear it. This fabric is my nemesis. Everything I've sewn in this fabric has not come out. I've gotten it in 2 or 3 colors. I finally went to use a dress I'd made in this fabric, and it didn't fit. I made the exact same dress with my exact same pattern. I'd made this pattern 3 times before. I checked it over. I do not know why, but I can't get it on. And I can still get those other dresses on. Like, I'm not lying to myself about it, you know? Like, I do not know what it is. I don't know if it's just the fabric type is less forgiving or something. I don't know. And the others are forgiving. So, anyway, I finally, like, it was really hard because I did a really nice job. It was a really, really cute dress. The bodice, I think, did that, and then the skirt did the opposite, so it went from navy to the teal. Was so cute. I did that in a live stream actually, and I finally sucked it up and cut it off, and I made this halter top out of the fabric. I test sewed it, made all the adjustments to the pattern. I made 2 muslins. This does not fit me. It doesn't fit me. So there's something about this fabric and me that are just not compatible. Same thing happened with, I sewed this fabric in a different colorway for the Callie shirt dress by now Closet Core. It looked terrible on me. I'm running out of bobbin thread. Mother trucker. Yep, I ran out of bobbin thread. That one, I ended up cutting down the dress and made a blouse. That didn't work. I tried to refashion that. That didn't work. It's just a cursed fabric. That one was in pink and purple were the 2 colors that it switched between. Anyway, so I still have nothing in this fabric. And I never will. But Trixie does. Trixie looks cute. This is not very parallel. All right. Belt loops. So, who had that good, oh yeah, I think that belt loop would be way too long down here. Plus, the waistband's up here. That would be the longest belt loop ever. I don't think that we could start a trend if we put a belt loop here up to here. I could just grab him, put him wherever I want. Oh man. All right, what label are we doing? Let's see here. Let's do the sewing machine. All right. Do we vote for the waistband to have a biased finish on the inside? I have this little bike print. Or do we want a clean finish waistband? I need to know ASAP now. You guys can tell me. Maybe we should do a vote. Voting. How do I do this? How do I do a vote? Is it down here? Yeah. I'm going to have a vote you guys can vote on. There we go. Oop, clonk. Ooh. Oh, wait. I thought it was going to be clean. There's so many clean votes in the chat, and now bias is winning. You guys, you clean people better vote. And all the dirty people better vote back. There's enough fancy already. Fancy. Oops, sorry. Okay, we need to cut our belt loops. Bias is still winning. If you're watching on TV, open your phone and vote. That's the only way you can do it. Clean, clean, clean. Okay, vote in the poll. Make sure you vote in that poll. It's in the live chat. It's at the top. 67%. Let's see here. We have only 15 votes right now. How many people are watching? Half of you voted. That's actually pretty good. All right, how much of this do I have here? We want at least 5 of these. 24, 28. So we have enough to do 3-inch long. You did, but you're not winning. There is do you know, I do have a recent new video showing how to do each of these things. It won't let you change. Rachel, vote what you want. Julie. Once I cut the carriers, then we will we'll do it. You like seeing it for real. Okay, I said there's 28 inches, right? 24. Yeah, like. So actually I could get 5 that are 5 inches each, so that's good. We have plenty. I'm just gonna cut them 4 inches, and then I'll if I have to cut around that back stitch, I will. Okay, I've cut 2. I'm cutting 2 more, and then I'm closing the voting. My stitching is terrible on this. I'm not your gal for a jeans class, I think. I'm your gal if you're afraid to do jeans. I'm gonna definitely make you feel like you can do it. Yeah, you voted bias because bicycles. All right, we're closing it. Let's see, I think, bias 64%, 35, 17 votes. Oof. It's like 2 to 1. Aww. Let's move this bobbin case. And do we want a blue bobbin? Do we want a blue bobbin? I already had a label pinned here, so we are at least thinking ahead. We like to see that with the label. All right, so some of the things I'm gonna look at right now are making sure my waistband, my waist seam here is nice and smooth across. I'm gonna line it up. So right here, and you can see there's a little bit of this extra stuff sticking up. We wanna make sure we have, our waistband's gonna be even across. And I actually think this is harder than it seems because your waistband overlaps, and that can make it not line up when it is at the end of the overlap. So I have to sew my bias together. Oops. It's kind of funny that that's that one. I felt like the videos that I just launched, they're doing drastically different from one another. It's kind of interesting. I don't know why. Unless it's just that more people have made videos about the clean finish. That could be it, actually. We need a white bobbin. This is a very tiny white bobbin. Do we take a chance? We have another one, just in case. We need that. I now have enough bobbins to fill all 3 of my trays, and so that is it. That is all I get for the rest of my life. I've already decided. They've heard me, you know, clamor on about clean, oh, I didn't have the spool there. Clean finishing a waistband for so long. They're like, please do something besides that. Dang, not a big fan of threading my thread cradle when I miss it. Here we go. I love that you're both Brits too. Solidarity for the clean finish crowd. You got to find your allies. There's like 5 or 6 of you. It's not many. Stick together. Safety in numbers. What kinds of projects would you like to see more live streams about. I'm kind of curious. I feel like my aesthetic gets a little old because you've seen it enough, you know? What other kinds of things would you like to see sewn live? Live. Did I say live? Why is that tension working? My only thing is, like, if you're gonna write down sleeping bag, I don't want to sew a down sleeping bag because I don't need one. You know, I'm a little practical. I know that makes me less fun because of people will just do whatever it takes for views. But the thing is, I don't know. I'm weird about getting stuff I don't need. I don't mind doing it to a point, though. Fitting pants on yourself. Oh, okay. I'm just going to say one thing about fitting pants on yourself. I think that everybody would like that. I'm not opposed to that at all. The problem with fitting pants is you have to practice. And that's the drag about it. If you're going into pants fitting where you want to understand how pants fitting works, that's different than fitting pants to yourself. They're kind of the same, but they're kind of different. And I say that because if you really want to understand it and learn it, so it's just this intuitive thing, you're going to be fitting a lot of pants to do that. But if you are doing it, if you just want some pants that fit you, I think the first thing is to figure out, like, what a good fitting pair of pants would mean to you, like what that looks like, and picking the right pattern and going from there. And then you can get help from someone like me, like at workshop, right? Or through the consult link, which I'm actually going to alter that soon and make it easier for people. So I help a lot of people fit pants. And I think that that's the one thing. There's a big difference. And I could go on and on about this. I'm just trying to keep it kind of simple and understandable why I'm saying it this way. And it's just because that I think if you only want to understand pants fitting for yourself, it's going to be easier. But at the same time, you might forget it all the next time you go to fit pants. And I think that that's the thing is, like, just my whole thing is what I'm leading up to is just do it. Just cut a muslin, sew a muslin, play around with it. You have to lower the bar of what you're willing to sample and pay for. So if you're not willing to make 12 muslins, you don't have to make 12 muslins. We won't get to that stage. But if you're not willing to do that, you're probably not willing. I'm just giving you harsh reality. You're probably not really willing to fit pants. And so if you are going to only try and make wearable muslins or cheat on it, it's really hard. So I think, like, giving yourself grace on it, your pants fit probably way better than any of you think they do. And I think that's another thing I would say is figure out what your expectations are. Are they reasonable for what you want? Are they accurate for what you want? And finding a pattern you really like, oh, I can only wear curved waistbands. Why are you picking a pant without a side seam then? Because that is probably not going to be suitable for someone who needs a curved waistband. You know what I mean? Can you eventually fit a pair of pants without a side seam and be yes, but you need to compromise something. And I think that that's the problem is that everybody thinks that they should be able to fit pants to look like anybody they want, not themselves, and that's a problem. Like there's a level of acceptance you have to get to. Those are I made those are kind of harsh words, but I'm actually tempering them because I think people just need to be kinder to themselves, you know? So your pants probably, all of you, I'm not talking about one person, I'm just talking to anybody, but your pants probably fit you better than you think. That's my point. Anyway. Okay, what else did you guys say here? Leggings with color blocking and side pockets. Oh, like knits? I could make some, I could stand to have some new leggings, to be honest. I am using leggings I've had since before Cricket was born. You really can make a bum bag, fanny pack that I can carry small water bottle, treats, phone, etc. I know I could copy what I have, but I enjoy seeing you make it. Oh, so do you have a pattern in mind, or are you wanting, like, are you saying you want to see someone sew one of those or draft one of those? Leisure wear, yeah, coats and jackets. Yoga pants, hoodies, zip jackets, basically athleisure. That's fair. I don't do a lot of that. That's true. You know, I don't think I realized that I haven't done zip jackets, except Shem's kind of alerted me to that. That actually might change soon. Julie. For sewing or fitting, Dawn? Thanks for agreeing with me, Amy. I know, like, I think I just like to talk, obviously, but I like to have conversations with people, and I don't really get to have those conversations very often. And I would love to talk with other people and see what they think about things about this. But yeah, I think Michael's the only one that hears the things I think about, because they're just not, like, I don't know, I just see a lot of things that I'm like, oh shoot, I should have sewn that at a much smaller seam allowance. Both. You know, Dawn, I think it's gilding the lily to fit with denim if you're going to be sewing your jeans in denim. I think it's okay to use muslin, with just keeping the muslin that you're fitting in muslin in the back of your head, that they're going to feel stiffer and more fitted when you add using a thicker fabric. But if you're also practicing sewing, I mean, you are going, if you take it one step at a time, you can practice the sewing steps on the muslin. And then when you get to the end, you can get some scrap canvas and practice sewing on heavy fabric on there. And then when you get to your pants, you're going to be feeling a lot more confident about that. The other thing is, like, expecting perfection on your first anything is just a lot to ask for. Look at all the mistakes I made. I've sewn jeans a lot. Oh yeah, we did the Itch to Stitch pull-on jeans first. That was great. That was actually, I feel like, a really great entry into pant jean making, because that's like the most successful sew-along we've ever had, and that was very early on. That was fun. Yeah, I think that I would love to have like these are the mistakes I see people make with fitting, but I don't really want to say that, because that sounds like judgmental, and I don't feel that way. I really just want people to be kinder to themselves and allow themselves more time, more resources, and more grace all the way around. If you're not giving yourself enough muslin and you're changing what kind of fabric you're using to fit over and over for every muslin, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're not being nice to yourself. You're wasting resources, and you could have spent a little bit more and just gotten like all the same fabric or just muslin. So that's one thing I would say. If you're thinking, well, I just don't want to do all the sewing effort without getting something for it, so I only want to do wearable muslins, you're not going to fit that as well as you could, because you're already keeping an eye on what you can do to the thing without hurting it too much. You've already shot yourself in the foot, and you're not being kind to yourself as well, and you're wasting resources, because now you're going to have a pair of pants that doesn't fit great. It fits half great, because you only did half the fitting, and you won't wear them. So now you've wasted resources, wasted time, and wasted the effort of fitting. So I think like that's the thing, is like, it's very obvious, like when I say these things, it just seems so naggy and preachy, and I couldn't hear it myself, you know, years and years ago, but that's just the truth. So you can, Julie, come on over. We still have a guest room. It's not very sexy, but we got one. Okay, I need to press this, and the iron's not on. I don't think I got enough bikes. I didn't get very many bikes. Look at this. Look at this bike. There's a bike. Was it worth doing bikes? I guess that takes it down, the fancy factor, down a notch. We got some wheels. Kind of a bummer. Look at these big swaths of nothing. Oh well. Our best intentions with bikes. We know they're there. Goes with my little machine. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention is, and I don't think I mentioned this in my bias finish waistband video, is, well, I did. I did mention that if you're doing a bias finish on your waistband, and it has a seam down the middle here, it's okay to not trim off the excess seam allowance if you're okay with your waistband getting taller. But if you are, like, your waistband has a seam, it's an outer and an inner waistband, and you have like 5/8 inch seam allowance on this edge here, you might want to trim one side down so that it's not hanging really far down into the inside of the pants. It'll look kind of weird and like it's flapping around in there. But, you know, when it's on the fold, like this one's on the fold, I can just make the waistband a little taller and then fold that where I want to fold it and put it where I want. So, you know, that's what I would say. Just unclean, you guys. Relentless. Okay, we're just going to press this really quick. And almost done. Okay, so I've pressed it, just wrapping it around the edge here. I'm going to stitch it down. You could not, but no, I think you should. On this, actually, I think you should. Yeah, don't listen to me. We're stitching in the ditch. You know what I learned yesterday? So, you know, speaking of things lately, I've been like, things I'm learning about sewing. I looked in, I think 4 of my books, my good sewing books, for a tutorial on stitch in the ditch for somebody, because I wanted to be able to refer them to and maybe take a photo of the tutorial. And that's mainly because I was already giving them a link and something else. So it's, anyway, whatever, I don't have to tell you why, but I wanted a tutorial and there isn't any. So this is one thing that I find interesting, is that stitch in the ditch seems like such an old technique, and I don't think it is. It's not in any of my sewing books. In fact, the one I was given in college, which is a good book, but there's not a whole lot of things in there. And it is very basic, but the sketches are really good, and they're really large. It's called Guide to Fashion Sewing. I'm not recommending the book. I don't not recommend the book, but I'm not saying go out and get that book, because there are more complete books out there. There's some advantages to it, but I think you can get a more complete sewing book, like with an old Reader's Digest one. But they don't even have how you secure the facings in that book. And then like the Reader's Digest, it's all by hand, which is fine. But there are some sewing steps where we're stitching in the ditch, And so I was trying to give them a resource. I couldn't find one. I ended up finding something, but it was kind of funny that I was like, oh, this is so weird. I couldn't find it in the Vogue book, the Reader's Digest book, the Guide to Fashion Sewing book, or maybe that was it. Maybe it was just 3 books. So, is he here? Is he here, Nancy? Sometimes I miss him saying something. Oh, right. You have you stitch in the ditch when wrapping the edge. I can hold off making joggies if you're doing a stream. Maybe. I don't know when. Ditch stitcher. Oh. Oh, I do have an edge stitch, but I think it would have been the right width. Something for Fittopedia. What is? Oh, I top stitch my side seams. All right, that's all we need the white for. We can get rid of that now. Put back the Mara. Yeah, that might be a quilting thing. I learned it with securing facings to the shoulder seams, and I don't even know where. Of course there is, Terry. Ooh, look at that. Perfect. We could actually set this up to wind, just since it's not winding anything right now. And this is being kind to my future bobbin stash. You and Terry, Nancy, I think, have all the gadgets and gizmos. feet and videos. Really interesting. I don't think I've played around with it enough. Oh, no. Yeah, there will be no such drawings, Elizabeth. No, sorry. If you knew how many drawings I had to do for Fittopedia, there will be no sewing drawings in there. That's a hard pass. One of my really big projects that I started and stopped, see, I do things, I just don't tell you about them, was like a sewing series. Maybe I'll return to it. Fittopedia just took over. So, and it wasn't going to be a book. That wasn't going to be like printed stuff. So, but Stitch in the Ditch was in there. It was already there. So maybe I could pull that video up and fix it up and put something. I don't know. There's got to be a ton of Stitch in the Ditch videos online. I was just already giving her a link, so I couldn't give her another link without replying again. It's just the whole thing. It's, you know, don't worry about it. But anyway, my point was that it's a newer sewing thing. That's what I was thinking. And it's always been around for me, so I guess it's not that old. I mean, I've been sewing a long time too, so. Okay, I'm gonna stitch my side seams toward the back, but just to the bottom of the pocket. Makes it more comfortable, flattens them out a bit. Okay. And it's speak now or forever hold your peace. This is in my way. Let's put that there so it's not so bright. There is another name for it, but it's just, I don't remember what it was. I'm sure Threads Magazine has a great tutorial on it. Like, I didn't check. Yeah, I just don't want to bore you with all the context, but basically a link was broken in some instructions to a video that showed how to do it. And I got the link, so I was fixing that aspect. So I was giving them a video when all was said and done. But I was also just trying to explain it because they were a beginner, just giving them context. And I thought, oh, it would be really nice if I could reference a sewing book. Since they're a beginner, they might have one of them. You know what I mean? So that's all. And then when I couldn't find it, I started going. You know, the other thing I discovered is that in this Vogue sewing book, which is very old, by the way, not the one I ordered. They sent me the wrong one twice in a row, and I just stopped. But it is like the same-ish to the one I was ordered. But some of the drawings in there are so similar to the ones in the Reader's Digest, and I'm kind of curious if it was the same illustrator. Like so close. They don't have authors on the Vogue one. It just says the editors, you know, so. The foot I like the best is the invisible zipper foot. That one. Right, Nancy, exactly. I think that the funny thing about stitching in the ditch with your facings is that it's the one thing that always comes out for me. They never stay sewn. It always comes out. And I think it's just because it's rubbing on your shoulders, you know? Yeah, exactly, Elizabeth. If you have the right foot, the right size foot for the right size zipper, it works beautifully, like without fail. It's amazing. All right, so we've made sure our front waist here matches, right? We'll pull it over to that line there. And we always do a quick walkie-walkie with the waistband and make sure it's actually going to fit. Yeah, when it doesn't match, it can be kind of persnickety. I was doing one yesterday and I was definitely having trouble, and I realized, oh, this doesn't match by a mile. What? This doesn't match by a mile. Why didn't we do the walk before? You know what I told myself today? Oh, you don't need to clean the cutting table. We're not going to be over there during the stream. I jinxed myself. Now I'm mad. Why doesn't this match? Did this not match and I just don't remember it not matching? It might not have. Okay, let's do 1/4 inch seam, because that 3 inches is going to be made up with a 1/2 inch extra. Let's be accurate. This seems familiar to me now. See, I didn't get a new version of the pattern or instructions after I sewed it. This bugs me. Look at how far that notch is off. It's missing the extension. That's what it is. It's missing the extension. There it is. That's the problem. I remember that. That just annoys me. Who didn't write in the pattern? I have enough fabric, but I'm really annoyed. All right, I need to change the camera. We're gonna go over here. Okay. We hooked to anything? No, this should be free floating. It'd be really nice if the cottage was just like 2 feet wider. just 2 feet. That would be good. And I'm not finishing with my cord management yet because I'm switching carts, probably after the stream. It isn't done, but it's not usually this far off. I am definitely, I do find this a lot. It's always the width of the extension. I'm so annoyed. You all love this sort of thing. What are you talking about? Ray's probably watching Kittens. Man. Oh, it's not this denim, it's this other one. I really hope this doesn't make it so that I can't make a pair of pants for me out of this denim, but I have a feeling it will. We need to zoom way out. Yeah, I actually tell people to do that. I even said that in the waistband stream or videos. I thought I checked this. That's the crazy thing. But I may not have. I checked so many things on this pattern. I gotta find the pattern. Wait, where's the pattern at? We need an extension, right? That's what I said. Like, we'll just do a more, and we need more bias. Oh my gosh, I'm done. All right, I decided to do it under jeans. I'm always like, is it under men's? Is it under jeans? No notes. Stupid bloody waistband. There's the extension right there, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Oh, Ahead of the Curve. That was the 4th book. I actually looked in the Cashmerette Learn to Sew book. I thought, oh, this is a modern sewing book. Oh my gosh, I just got caught in a bobbin thread. This is a very modern sewing book, and it could be in there somewhere, but it wasn't listed in the index, and I just kind of flipped through. So it could still be in there, but I just couldn't find it really quickly. And that would have been more niche to assume they had that as their learning to sew book. So I really can't, Elizabeth. And I really hate unfinished projects. So we all know that about me, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to fix it. That's why I got this piece of scrap here. But let's see what's happening here. So if I can have whatever I want now, I'm gonna let this hang off a 1/2 inch. Not the 3/8 it was given. And then we're walking it on the seam line. And I'll just check the pattern pieces later because it could be a little different than what we're gonna get right now. I think it's okay to ease your waist into a waistband, but not 2 inches. I'm talking a 1/2 inch when I say that. You know? Maybe an inch, not that much. So we need to add like 2 inches. Stupid bloody waistband. Wonder where it's gonna be at. I was almost done. Oh, now, oh, that's true, Amy. Ooh, you're giving them ideas. Now, I did increase the width of my extension, so that would have actually impacted my waistband. I have to take some culpability there, but this is not why this is off, this one. Because that would have just been off a 1/2 inch. That's all I added. There's Ray. Ray doesn't want to like chat with us anymore. Unless she's summoned. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy. Going in the bin. Bummer. All right, so I think I'll just do it along the selvage so that hopefully, I think this will make me some shorts for sure. I don't know how many I need though, you know. I'm wearing the pair I made for the other video. Hi, Eliza. Ray's here. You wondered, and she did appear. That is fair, Ray. That is fair. Keep the sorting going. Don't let us get in your way for sure. Okay. I'm not actually that concerned about the notches, sorry. I'm just cutting it out. Mainly because I'm not going to check the pattern right now. That'll take too much time. I don't want to, but what I could do is give myself a center notch. So if this is my extension right here, I can figure out the center back right here. Will be right there. And then we'll just hopefully get the side seam on the right spot. Do center back. Because the waistband should be symmetrical from here to here, and then that's just that little under extension. Oakley dokley. We just need some interfacing. I mean, the notches are nice as a guide, you know, like I'm not saying they're not important, but, and I think they're equally important on straight or curved, you know, whatever helps you while you're sewing it and keeps you on track. I think that is really helpful because who's to say that without the notches, I'll get it on perfectly symmetrical, you know, like there are risks, but, I would have to measure the front and the yoke and the extension and then transfer that to the pattern piece right now and symmetrically and then do seam allowances, and that's not hard to do. It would just take me a little bit. And, you know, it just kind of disrupts the flow. Just pushing this to the middle since my wiggin is not quite wide enough. And then we're gonna go press this. I'm actually gonna pin it on. Why is it going through all those alterations, Terry? Just a style choice? All right, okie dokie. Well, at least we added it, and then I'm gonna leave this out so I don't just put it away like I usually do. Let's flip around, just style. Well, it sounds fun though, you're designing. Enjoy it. You're gonna make something you really want then, right? Oops. Sorry for the noise. This is why I put that thing on so I don't make you nauseous. I'll bring you, oh, can I? Oh yeah, I can, just a second. You going outside, Bubs? There you go. I gotta move a quart. Oh, where'd my mouse go? I'm just grabbing the mouse. Grab the facing. This might be a weird angle, but at least I don't have to leave you behind. It's something. An evolution, I like it. I mean, that's kind of how it goes, right? Is this the final version? Accidentally overlapped right there. Because, I mean, if it's the muslin, that's exactly what it's for, right? I like the, I think all of us have been really inspired by that closet cord Josephine. You know, the one that looks like it's a summer top. It looks a lot like the Reynolds by Helen's Closet, but it has a button back and it has a little like opening at the bottom. It's very cute. The Paddington, yeah, the Paddington has a button back as well, but I didn't do it. All right. Do we have enough binding? Oh, we do. Okay. Okay, let's slide y'all down. We don't have to do a flip, so I'm just gonna roll. Okay. Back in the saddle again. My hair's really flat today. Oh, you bought that one. That's awesome. That's great. I just made something yesterday I think it would go really cute with. So I'm thinking about imitating it since I don't have it. But I have the other one. Or just maybe just making the Reynolds. That one came out, ooh. We don't want to interrupt that bobbin winding happening over there. Let's get another spool. Maybe don't sew something that's clothing, Julie. You know? Do something fun. Did I just switch this to white? I did. Here we go again. All right, so if we need the pants. Where are they? Oh, they're there. Julie, here, you know what you do? Julie, look at me. I want you to take that skirt to your local dry cleaner or whoever does alterations. Have them do it for you and pay for it, and then hand it back to your friend. And just say, probably won't ever do this again. That wasn't the easiest thing, but I'm really glad I could help you this time. And then move on. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Christina and Rachel. Yeah, just pay someone to do it. Don't even tell them if you don't want to. It's overrated also to do everything ourselves, so. With Malcolm's. I sew every day now for the amount of mistakes. Oh, well, welcome to my world. I mean, the water's just fine. I agree with Dawn. I think the poles, they need to make the poles on regular zippers nicer. They're so ugly and they're so hard to grab. Yeah, I get the same way, Julie. Things will stop me like that, especially like anything. Oh, Andrea, I think you're right. Thank you. Ooh, are we gonna get more bikes on this one? It was all the effort to get more bikes, right? What's the noise? What is the noise I am hearing? All right, I didn't need to trim on this one. I'm just gonna press this really quick. I have this like sneaky suspicion that all the zippers we have bought like for dresses, you know, like when we used to buy them at Joann's or whatever, those kinds. I swear they made like a literal billion of them in every color like 40 years ago, and we're stuck with the same frickin' packaging and configuration for another 20 years. They have not evolved. They haven't gotten better. The poles still suck. Like, what in the actual? Like, I feel like what a way to phone it in. You know? I wonder if this new light is like the cords vibrating, and that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, you know, my husband gave me a camping jacket, like an outdoor jacket. Older, he's had it since before we met. And he has sparks from a campfire burned some holes in it, and then he lent it to Cricket, and the same thing happened to her. And so he just wanted to repair them. Well, it sat in here for a few months, and I finally recently was like, I'm sick of carrying this around. Why aren't I addressing it? And you know, I looked at it, and I would have to have sewn the patches on, and it's this very thin fabric, inner and outer, and then the fluffy innard. And I just couldn't find anything that I liked, and I just thought this is going to be kind of not great. Like, it's going to compress it in these areas, and these areas were kind of hard. So then I just started looking into iron-on patches. Do you guys know how far evolved iron-on patches have gotten? I can't remember what the name of this company was, that he knows this company from the outdoor industry. They make the cutest iron-on patches, large ones, small ones, things like that. I found their site kind of hard to navigate, but I think they're kind of blowing up too. But expensive, $16 for an iron-on patch, but really cute, right? It has like National Park Service stuff on, like every national park, and then you put it on, whatever. It could be for repairs, like they have little tiny ones called ditsies or something. But the other problem was a lot of them looked very feminine, and I just had trouble navigating their site to find like all the patches. Anyway, it gave me the idea. I'm like, iron-on patch. So I had to place an order somewhere, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look for iron-on patches. Found them. I got something like 30 iron-on patches this size in a rainbow of colors, and it was $8. And I was like, here you go. Because I wanted that. It was stopping me from doing it. I just didn't want to do it, and I just thought I had to like put in all this thought and get the right fabric. I don't have the fabric, blah, blah, blah. I just bought the patch and then gave it to him. And he's like, I don't think I can iron this on. And I was like, it might be time to retire this jacket. Just saying. Anyway. Andrea had a good point about the tag, so I will make sure I get that other one. Here is this again, and we'll just pin it back here so we remember it, because this is one that I think I do at the end. Anyway. Yeah, but I did mean to share those patches with you guys because they were really cool. And I thought, you know, it would be fun to like, if you have like a duffel bag or backpack that you just kind of wanted to add some fun stuff to, because they were really neat, really cool colors, and they looked really well made. And they're fabric. They're fabric patches, and they're meant to be no-sew, but they still feel like fabric because they are. So, yeah, they were like a nylon, a good for something like 50 launderings, or I can't remember what it said, don't quote me. That's the thing, I get so stuck in my ways that I forget there's other things that have come about, and we don't have to do it all ourselves. And he was kind of like, you know, yeah, maybe I'll just try it out, and it might just be time to retire this. I'm like, yep, it might be. Oh, I needed to check that tension. I have to really check the tension on this. Something was going on there. I will never buy this thread again. Okay. All right, we're doing this bias facing waistband. So this is the easy one. You just sew it right sides together. My zipper is well away from my seam allowance, so I'm just gonna hang it off a 1/2 inch. And then the one thing that to pay attention to is like where you're gonna sew this. So maybe what we could do is mark it on both sides so that we kind of set ourselves up. So let's say there and there, and then hopefully it'll match. We'll see. It's great if you can actually see your marking, but you know. We summoned Ray. Oops. The heck? Didn't you summon her, Nancy? Weren't you the one that said, where's Ray? She would love this. It worked. Ray, I know you like a good animal live stream. Did you get as sucked into the baby eagles that we all did, the Big Bear baby eagles? That was really fun. The best part about that is that we only have to wait like 5 more months to do it all over again. That's nuts. You got the filing cabinet done? I told my office mate in Paradise, I was like, hey, this thing here, I'm getting rid of. I need to find a home for it. He was like, so it could just disappear and you wouldn't care? I was like, yep. He was like, good to know. I was like, oh, I hope that happens. It is a beast. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this thing. It's too heavy, too hard to move. It's so heavy and hard to move that when I try and move it across the floor up there, it gouges what it was built in the 80s. Indestructible floor. Indestructible floor. No, this filing cabinet gouges it when I try and slide it. So, you know. All right, we need to start looking at our end here because we want to make sure we have enough. Okay, we're doing good. Watch him say these are too big. I'll just start fattening him up. I will just start creating the fit issues on somebody I need. In certain areas, I will start making him whack as a hunchback or with one leg shorter or I don't know. I've been thinking about trying to correct my own fit issues with my back. The lordosis. Then I'd have a whole new set of things to fit, which would be kind of cool. Michael already has some really great fit issues that I like to work on. Don't worry, I don't think of everybody as like what I get to use in a video, I promise. But it does cross my mind sometimes. Like, I would like to fit that. All bodies welcome. All right, let's check our... Now, I'm going to fold it down. And because I don't have that seam on the top, I can choose like how much I want, like how tall I want this waistband to be. And I think like putting the bias finish hanging just below is good because you know you're going to catch it. I just don't like too much. I don't think I would ask someone. I don't want them to think that the issue is wrong. You know what I mean? Because I don't. I just think we're all different. We all have something to fit around, you know? Oh, the little canvasy ones, yeah. All right, so we have this side here. Let's check if we can get it the same. I very sloppily ironed my interfacing here, so it's overlapping a little bit, making it a little harder to bend the waistband. I'm like slowly realizing like me saying I want fit issues sounds probably really bad, but I think it's just a quirk of being and doing what I do, like the way I think of things. Like, who do I know that has this issue that I can work around, you know, like that I can fit, I can play around with. I feel like that wants to bend down way too far. You know? Maybe not. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to get rid of this and this. God, there's so many. Okay. Doesn't that seem kind of far? I'm just going to try this and see how it looks. Ooh, I would love that, Amy. That's what I love about those Palmer Pletch books. I love seeing all the different ways they handle things. I've even definitely like looked, I'm like, what are they talking about? That looks fine. And then when I see the after, I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they're saying. And it's probably because like in person, it's more obvious where the wrinkle is happening or the asymmetry is happening, and I just can't see it as well in the photo. And then, because then afterwards I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they're saying. Okay, I love it. All right, I think it is an optical illusion that that was longer. Okay, cool. All right, we're good. So I'm gonna turn this like this. I'm gonna fold it, see if I can turn out the corner like so. Exactly, Amy. That is exactly it. And that is another thing I would say during fitting is that I think being in a place where you get to see a lot of different people, because I know a lot of people, myself included too, like we're always nervous to do things like that publicly, and you think other people are judging you. I'm not, like, I don't really, like, it doesn't, I just don't think about it, I don't know why, but, yeah, when you start seeing, it normalizes it, because it should be normal, because it is normal. It is normal. We're all very different. I think that your evolution as a home sewer, it goes from like, dang it, I'm so sick of ready to wear not fitting. They really need to stop making standard sizes. And then when you start getting really deep into fitting, you go, Well, they got to start somewhere, you know, and if it's a company that at least has a lot of sizes, they're doing the best they can. There's a lot of companies definitely not doing the best they can. They just don't have enough sizes. They don't go large or small enough in a lot of cases. But that's really the best you can do because everybody's so different, you know. It's like complaining, you know, like if I had really, really, I don't know, short arms and I'm really mad that companies aren't catering to my arms, you know, when mine are 3 inches shorter than most people's or something. So, well, I think that there is judgment happening. And I think that when you are feeling judged, you're probably one of the ones that is, you know, because you're thinking that way. I don't know how to put that. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah, you don't want to cut through the armhole, Nancy. The armhole should stay the same. I'd be happy to show you that. All right, now we just pin this. I think ironing is a good idea here. Just sort of making sure I'm getting it nice and taut and making sure my waistband's hanging down past here. It's right here. Oh, the belt loops. Bus? What bus? Wait, a small bus adjustment. Yeah, exactly, Amy. You know, one of the things I think that I want, like my Fittopedia to do is to stop talking about adjustments as if you're the problem when it's the pattern that's the problem. And it's been really interesting to come up with opposite language. So in other words, I can't say, I'm not going to be able to use the term flat seat adjustment on a pair of pants because most people think of it as the person has a flat seat and the pattern needs to be adjusted for them, right? But what I look at it now is, oh, this pattern needs a flat seat adjustment because it's too rounded for the person. The person doesn't have a flat seat, the pattern does. And I think that might be the one thing that I may have a little bit of a hard sell on, but I am not doing it. It was my biggest hurdle with Fittopedia, like what stopped me and prevented me from moving forward a lot of times was the language. I just can't stand talking to people and saying, you need a round back adjustment. Oh, I never knew I had a round back. You don't. You don't need a round back. You don't have a round back. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't care. Without seeing 100 backs lined up with each other, who knows? We're not medical professionals. I just want to change the pattern. And so I'm trying to be strategic about the language in it so that it, like anytime we're talking, it's a deficiency on the pattern, not you. Maybe you do have a round back. I don't know. So yeah, there were far more sizes when I was growing up. No small, medium. Sorry, it was 2, 4, 6. Well, small, medium, large still exists. It's just the combination of two of those. So the 2, 4 would be the small. The 6, 8 would be the medium. That's how that works. It's a combination. Okay, here we go. I don't have my belt loops on here, and you saw by the video, I really like putting my belt loops on in the seam, and I just missed that. But that's okay. It's okay. I don't have the, well, I didn't make them, maybe I made them long enough to be in the seam. Oh, I guess I did. Oh, I did. That could have worked. But that's okay. We'll just do it on the outside when we're done. They offered more in between sizes. Really? I don't think so. I mean, so like 1, 3, 5, 7, that would be juniors. And then 2, 4, 6, 8. They didn't have zeros or double zeros then. So they have added that, you're right. Yeah, that's the other thing, Michelle. Like, I don't know if you read that blog post, but like, I've seen adjustments where they're like longer posterior arm joint. I don't know. I didn't take anatomy. How would you know? Like, can you imagine going to get fitted for a suit and be like, sorry, I have a longer posterior arm joint. Like, what? It's so weird. Why did I pin this way? It's pokey pokey. No, I don't think they are. They are lower than 2 and 4. Yeah, exactly, Amy. It does help in some ways, but some of it I'm just like, you know how the way I'm doing it is it's tight here. It's loose here. You have wrinkles pointing to this. This is what you need to do. Well, they're doing vanity sizing. Yes, that's true. Okay. We have a pin here. We have our label. I think we can include it and it'll get caught. We might be able to do that. See how much this hangs down? So I think we're just going to have to tack that on afterward. A 3. What does that mean? Yeah, so all of the Fittopedia things, you're going to be able to search by your issue. You're going to be like, it's going to be a cross-reference list. I probably shouldn't give away too much just because I don't want people coming back at me for some reason or another. But it'll be a cross-reference list, so you can go arm, 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 arm. Yep, tight across the top of my arm. Or, there's a wrinkle thing. I have wrinkles and they're loose or they're tight or they're strained. So it'll help you at least narrow it down and then point you in the right direction. The problem with fitting things in general is that we're not usually fitting one thing. We're trying to solve for a few things at once, and sometimes you don't know that. So it's really easy to like get upset with fitting stuff because you're looking for like a solution and it might not be that clear cut, you know what I mean? You're not a flat piece of paper. I might be able to do that, but I think, oh, this doesn't feel good right here. Like switch the word issue, but I'm centering the issue on the pattern, not the person. So it's the problem is the pattern. But I have thought that, like, I don't know, I don't want it. This is going to be a funny analogy that Rachel will get. I don't want it to be like how it is on TikTok right now, where everybody is medically diagnosing themselves with some sort of disorder. I don't want that. I don't like that. Because you might not need to do the same adjustment in some companies that you do others. Yeah, there's certainly brands probably not going small enough for you, Nancy. I get that. We all have our things. Okay, this one can just hang straight down like this, but I do like folding this little corner up and hope I'm gonna catch it up there. I go through waves of being like, oh my gosh, why are we nerding out so bad on this? To, ooh, I can't wait to nerd out in this, you know? So I say like, oh, I'm looking forward to being on the other side of this huge project. But then I think, what if this huge project becomes like all I talk about afterward? I'm not sure I'm up for that, but whatever. Just because I just don't want people to worry about fitting so much. I just want them to be comfortable and like their garment. But I don't want the fitting to overtake them psychologically and stop them from doing things or thinking they're inadequate in some ways. I would rather just people sew and enjoy things and try and be as comfortable as possible and get there. The more you sew, the more experience you get, no matter what, with fitting and sewing. So I sometimes do get a little frustrated by focusing on it a lot because I think it's better than it seems for some people, you know? Like the fitting is, I'm being a little obtuse because I don't want to be very specific, but, and I'm not talking about any of you guys or anybody in particular, just in general. Ooh, I'm hitting the reverse. I think that people are really scared that their stuff doesn't fit well. And if you like it and it's comfortable, that's good, you know? Ouch. So yeah. You have a non-YouTube appropriate story about the exact thing. Yeah. I can imagine. But if I didn't know and I hadn't done the work on my body neutrality, I think that I spend a lot of time dancing around naming an adjustment sometimes because I don't want someone to think I'm saying that about them. And like Julie said, you know, there's just so many factors. It's infinite. And that's why another thing I'm just like, ugh, this is just it's too much to obsess about because it'll change in 10 years, right? So if we get this all dialed in 10 years, we're going to be talking about it differently. And I think that I don't know. I think like saying, yeah, like what I'll say is, okay, you can find this adjustment. What you need to do here is on pages of this fitting guide. I don't name the adjustment until the end, and I just say, you know, it's like if you were to, you know, want to put a party hat on Mount Everest and you just were using a flat piece of paper, well, you're not going to get a party hat, right? So if your back doesn't have any darts, and that's the thing is like trends have made patterns not have darts in the back of them anymore. And I don't know if that's a visual trend, like a style trend. People are like, oh, darts are so, I don't know what they are, right? Or is it nobody wants to sew them? Is it, it could be related to so many things. Like in the last 30 years, production sewing and not production sewing, you know, industrialization and the amount of clothing being sold has just skyrocketed. Budget clothing has skyrocketed. In order to make something more budget, they take things away, like darts. And so you end up thinking that's normal because, and that's what everybody's wearing, even if it's at Target or somewhere, which is very cheap and affordable here in the States, right? You can't visualize a dart. You're going to say, oh, that's upscale because it has a dart. No, that's fitted. That's fitting, right? So there's a lot of really subtle things that happen that influence everything, right? So then if we're not seeing any more darts on patterns and you're expecting it to fit a certain way with no dart, I'm sorry, you just can't have that. And this is what goes back to my like harsh talk earlier, is like, you need to change your expectations and accept certain things, because you can't get that fit without certain tools, you know. And a dart in the back is a really amazing tool. So you're not a flat piece of paper and expecting it to fit a certain way, and then you start dipping into things like, this looks really good. You dip into things like, my back of my shirt doesn't fit me nicely because I'm not shaped right. No, that's not right. You aren't flat. No matter how, how much you are flat back there, you're not flat. Like your shoulder curves forward, right? You're not ending. Anyway, so I think that that's why I get so frustrated with fitting, is that there's so many different influences between how we feel about our bodies, to what we're used to seeing, what we're conditioned seeing and accepting, to trends, to public stuff, that it really messes around with you, and it messes with your head in so many different ways that you don't realize, when you could just be like, you know what? I'm going to make myself a pair of elastic pants today, and they're going to be comfortable and I'm going to love it. I don't know. All right, this didn't get caught in there, and I feel it when I'm zipping up the pants, but they look really good. Do I need to move this out of the way? I think I do. This one can hang down. It didn't get caught either, but this one needs to be up, because then the zipper gets tucked right here. Shoot dang. This looks so nice too. Well, pretty good. I'm no pro at this, but it looks pretty good. I like it. Easiest way to sew a waistband is with the bias facing, for sure. I think it looks nice too. It looks weirdly cleaner to me. I don't know. Like I've touched the inside, you know. I love that everyone says shoot dang, because if you guys knew where that came from, you'd be like, this came from here. Because it's a YouTuber that's he's just really funny. Yeah, exactly, right, Terry? And I think that if you're new to fitting, the descriptors are going to help you go, oh, well, I don't know if I have this. I know, Andrea. I had to change thread color, though. That's why I haven't done it. And I'm kind of vacillating on this little issue right here. Because what if I don't want back stitches. But I do need to just redo this part right here. It didn't stay. I should have tacked it so it would have stayed. Learn from me. This looks really good. The denim is so stiff. It really makes them look better, like crisp, you know. Let's do the belt loops, and then we will do our label with our other thread color. This is the second label I've lost. Oh no, it's pinned back. Oh no. Andrea's like, dude, I need to go do other things today, Saremy. Can you please just sew the label on so I can let it rest? Thanks for carrying the torch, Andrea. I've lost that though. Okay, so I'm gonna put the belt loops on. This opening looks really huge, doesn't it? I'm gonna put one here. Let's get one that's kind of centered. I didn't change this. Why does this look so huge? If I do this, it's gonna change the opening, but I think that'll be okay. We're gonna do like this up here. It can be. Yeah, darts are so great. Darts and seams. You got to have some tools to fit. I'm gonna pick this one. These are very wide belt loops. I don't like sewing these on. I always get rid of all these threads, pull out as much as possible so that I won't keep doing it later. Actually, let's trim it down and do it again. Okay. Oh, that's not that great. Oh well. Okay, so we want, wait, what am I doing? That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Oh, I'm kind of over this right now. I've taken way too long to do this today. I'm sorry. I get a little like, I start getting a little weirded out when I start having like these conversations about things that are kind of important to me, but they're one-sided. Like, you guys can't interrupt me. You can't, you can just type and chat, right? And that's just not the same thing. It's like a one-sided conversation. So it doesn't feel as helpful or inclusive. So I start getting kind of weirded out. All right, anyway. Oh, good. That's great thanks for the update, Fiona. Okay. What do I want here? What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? I want fewer threads in the way here. I want to do this, and this, and this. That is what I want. What didn't I like about that? Was it that I was like, oh, I want to do this and then this? Like that? Is that what I was thinking? Because usually I would put this in the waistband. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I should have left that. I'm going to have to use the air to like the compressed air and get all the threads off these things. Like there. I don't know how wide his belt is. Like that. I think that's my goal. Like that. Okay. We're just gonna stitch it down straight. I think that'll look better. We got rid of the fluff. Could use a bar tack. That is a whole other machine, but I was thinking about, I think my buttonholer will do bar tack, so that could be kind of fun, because that is set up. I just want this flat, so we're gonna cut a little bit of this off. Let's see. Get rid of all that. Yeah. like that. Okay, let's trim off a little bit more. Okay, one down. Threads, threads everywhere. Whew. Big needle on that like poplin is chewing it up. All right, we have one. Looks kind of messy, but it's just this white fluff everywhere. So we want this to be, I'm just gonna get rid of all this now. All right, Malcolm, I know it's getting late, huh? See ya. Okay. Messy. This denim is messy. All right, so I'm thinking that, I thought he twitched. Like thinking about my tropical, oh, not tropical, but like the camp shirts that I need to get sewing. I'm not expecting to get Fittopedia done this month, which helps me not stress about it because of the streams this month. And that, and I'm getting a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff done this week because I had something come up work-wise. So I think what I could do is maybe stream next week, but they might be spontaneous and they may be at weird times. So keep on the lookout for that. And there's a quick fit being uploaded on Wednesday on full belly adjustment. So I'm kind of sticking with some of the adjustments that I see men ask for the most this month. I did the, what was it last week? Oh, seat adjustments. See, I still called it full and flat seats in that video because, you know, search algorithm. But I never said the person has it. What is this little, like, see this little, do you see that? What is that? Is that just some shape? What is that? Oh, well, all right, let's do this one. Be like right here. Maybe I could line it up with that. Yeah. Is that shorter? Oh my God, please don't be shorter. Poor woman's back tack. The hearts are fun sometimes when I see them. They feel like they're getting shorter and shorter. I don't think I'm being consistent. And I can tell it's because I'm a little bit over things right now. Sorry. At least this is something very easy to fix later. Once, you know, he uses his belt and he says, one of these belt loops is like too, you know. Oh, thanks, Derek. Appreciate that. It's definitely a source of constant on my mind. It's going to go with like a book. They're going to go with a book. And, oh, you're talking about the ones coming out. Yeah. Yeah, there was one last week, and then there will be one more. I packed it in this month. All right, so we're going to do this one. Here. Lining up with that yoke stitch. What's the weather like, Derek? See, this one seems short. All right, Fiona, no worries. I think that the problem with the labels is that somewhere along the line, they just got accepted. So it's hard to combat that, you know? It is kind of what you're doing, like the adjustment title is correct. It's just that you're doing it, this is why it was so confusing. You can find footage of me in past live streams asking you guys for, asking you guys to understand what you were talking about, because I didn't understand how, when you would say, oh, you need a round back adjustment, and I was thinking, well, you can't change the person. And then I had to understand what they meant was change the pattern. And see, the thing is, like, it's just me. I think it was just like, because I came about it in a different way. So it just didn't make sense to me. So anyway, the first time I heard a full bust adjustment, or FBA, people would say, oh, do you know how to do an FBA? I didn't know what that was. I was just like, what is that? I knew how to do that, but I did it differently, and we didn't call it that. We would just redraft. So yeah. Lots of ways to do things. They're all correct, most of them. Don't get your panties in a twist over it. Just do what works for you. It's not that deep. It kind of is, though. That's the thing. All right. Well, that was a struggle. I made that much harder than it needed to be. We're doing the label. For the third time, I am looking for that same label because I have lost it twice now. I bought this patch a really long time ago from Fancy Tiger Crafts. And I finally just realized I could put it in here. Where are my labels at? Now I can't find all of them. What the heck? Here they are. They fell in another cubby. All right. We're going to get some white thread. Yay. Wet, very, very wet. Flooding forecast. Ooh, that sounds not good. Yeah, you know, Terry, I'm working on some too. Where did you design yours? Like what program? hot until I bought a cooling fan. Ain't that the way it happens? My chair is slightly higher today. I adjusted it yesterday for like a thumbnail photo, and I forgot to lower it, and that's why I keep hitting the foot. So I'm sorry, it's been really noisy today. It's like a slightly different angle, so I keep hitting it. All right, here is the label. I'm putting a sewing machine in because I like the colors of it. Actually, maybe I should do it from this side. I can get nice and flat in there. These labels aren't the greatest for doing on these waistbands because I don't have much extra on the top for this really long seam allowance, you know? Oh, really? That's cute. Oh, okay, Terry, that makes sense. The stamp is a great idea. It's not in the waistband, just here on the binding finish, and that's because the top of the tag, there's only about 1/4 of an inch of space right there from there to there. So I looked at it when we were sewing it to see, and it would have come down like across the machine, which, you know, he doesn't care about the machine, but it just would have been, looked good, you know. All right, so what are our issues? What are left? I'm going to hem the pants with him since his last pair were too short. I have this one issue right here. Is that everything? Is that my only issue? I thought I had something else. Is that it? Oh, I really don't want to take that out. It looks so nice. We could hide a back stitch here. And maybe here. I did fix that. I did fix that right after I did the inseam. It came out again. Terry, did you do that on purpose? What the heck? I don't think you want this denim, Rachel. It's too thready. The more you seam rip, the dicier it gets. Man, I'm gonna have to eat lunch soon. How'd that happen? It's because of the curve, huh? I felt like I was already making a sacrifice to the sewing fairy by allowing back stitches back there. You know? Jeez. Yeah, I keep my thready denim. Yeah, it's such a soft edge, you know, like I'm not getting that really crisp. And if I trim it, it just gets thready where I trim it. So I don't want to trim too much. I can't get much further like down here, you know? What in the heck? Is this just too near? Maybe I need to go further up. Sewing drama. I was like, ugh, today, just a few steps left. We can do this at a really leisurely pace and just enjoy each other's company. Dang, I didn't know I should have been like hot to trot on this the whole time so we could get through it in a timely manner with so little. It's getting too high up. Now we're going to tie off at least this one. Which is in like a higher friction area. Oh, I don't like that. That happened to me when we did cut the waistband. Because my bobbins are all in this drawer, and one bobbin had grabbed these pants. Okay, so this to me tells me I need to probably trim this piece a little bit narrower. So let's do that. Very, very carefully. All right, so now you have no excuse but to fold in here. You hear me? Let's go iron you. We're gonna iron it this time. Just to make sure. Especially that little thready spot, like the nerve. Okay. Yeah, they get a better folder, exactly. So look, there we go. So now you're my witness. Look at that. Nice amount being folded over there. Didn't we just change to yellow thread, or did we just change back? I thought we had. I actually did. Dang. Well, I mean, I guess you could use the fray check, but you would still want it hidden. That's the back, it's the butt, you know? But it could be helpful because then it wouldn't like fray any further. I do have some. I've never opened it up. Maybe I should have done that in like that yoke spot. I'm just, you know, I'm slipping, you guys. I'm focusing more time on fitting, not enough time on sewing. You're witnessing my decline. It's just how it is. Well, I bought it because everyone talks about it, but I keep forgetting to use it. I don't really know what you use it for. Like I know what you can use it for, but I don't think of it. I'm not in the habit. I need the reminder. Because it's a good tool. And I don't like it on my buttonholes. I just do that scratching thing, get rid of all the threads. Like we could trim this down a little further. Because then there's nothing left to fray. Okay, what are we doing? We've got we need a long tail. That's what it was. That's what I was about to do. And then I was like, oh, that's not the right thread color. All right, this is the last time I'm fixing this rise. Where is it? pants are big. Lots to manage here. All right, we're gonna leave our tail out right here. Gosh. Okay. Right here, we're back stitching. Okay. And then we'll pull these to the back. I don't like doing that along the rise just because this, you know, it'll get a lot of friction here. His pants back are loose though, so maybe not as like the kind of friction I would get. But like if he rides his bike in these like to work, you know. That's right. I'll just put a glob right there, right, Nancy? It's kind of the FAFO, you know, like if I told you once, I told you 1,000 times, don't ride the bike in your jeans that I made you. You'll find out. You'll get a glob of fray check if you... What's fray check? I think the key to making this look good is to poke the needle in right where the knot end is at. You know, that way it's not like making a stitch there. You're just going, you're sinking it in there. This is not the right needle. This eye is not kind to 2 strands. This is the needle. This is probably it. I will probably work on that front thing, but I'm thinking about it. I kind of want him to try them on and see if I can get away with not. But I have a feeling it just needs to be done. And I'm being a baby about it, so maybe I should just fix it. You know? Maybe I should put fray check on these things. Lick the needle. Okay, I'm gonna lick the needle, Michelle. Doesn't it make it, ooh, that went through. Wouldn't it make it harder to poke through with a spit barrier? That seems like such a, get in there, get in there. The thick thread, it's the thick thread, it's just hard. Okay, there we go. That seems like something someone would just tell you just to give you anything, you know? Like anything to try. And then it'll work for people just because, well, you know, they know how to thread the needle. They can get the needle threaded no matter what. And the licking's not doing anything, but then it becomes an urban legend because people are like, oh, you didn't lick the needle. It's not actually working. It's a placebo. It's a sewing placebo. Let's try it again. I can't really tell if it's working or not. Ugh, this thread with the plies. Where did you hear that and what's I like the science. What's the science? I'm not actually doubting you. I'm glad, Ray. Okay, got rid of that. Got rid of that. We have a little knot right there. So hopefully nobody cuts that knot right there. Looks good. Phew. Let's just suck it up and fix this here. I think I just one of those people that likes to understand the why. And it's probably what is like for some people, they don't need to know that. So I know I'm way too wordy for them. See, that's what I was about to say. This seems like an Instagram trick. Interesting, Eliza. Did you just make that up? Surface tension will pull it through? Because I thought the surface tension would prevent it. I like this reasoning. This works for me. Okay, what's my plan? My plan is to take this off, and I think if I really wanted to, I could go all the way around here and hide my back stitch, one here and right here. I know, right, Ray? Exactly. Eliza could tell us anything. She's a doctor. We'll believe her. Okay, we're gonna go all the way. When I know when I'm hesitating, it's because I know what the thing is I want to do and I don't want to do it, so we're just gonna do it. Because then I'll stop hesitating if I just do it. Wait, I don't see what Rose Gold said. Oh, the back rise was literally a pain in the back. Exactly, it really was. And I was liking my optical illusion joke. Yours is more appropriate. Where do you all buy glasses now? I was looking, like, so we don't have, I have like insurance for my eye exam and that's it. So I have to pay for everything. And the quote for the lenses I got, the minimum was, I think, $385. But that sounded like what you didn't want. You wanted to get the like whatever's like things on your lenses, coatings or whatever. So $499. And then you could go like up to $900 on lenses. Yeah, I've done Costco, but I had to go 4 freaking times. Oh no, I went 6 times. It was like 6 Mondays in a row. They kept getting the prescription wrong. And I was like, dude, like, can you just want to do this correctly so I don't have to keep coming back? It's like a half hour each way. So I was trying to look at like, okay, what is supposed to be the average price? And it does seem sort of in line with it. And then this place called Zenny came up, and I think someone like, maybe Jenny Hassler has done a collaboration with them or someone. No, just around the end here, because I'm a weirdo about back stitches. It's just my thing. So, and they were very affordable. So then I was like, well, how's the quality, you know? Because the frames were $7 compared to like, oh, by the way, I should clarify, when I say lenses, I mean only the lenses was that price. That was in addition to the frames. And I need new frames because these transparent kind, I don't know if any of you have had these transparent kind, they change color, picking up like your oils. and stuff, and mine are lavender now. They don't look like it to you, but they are. They're lavender. So I just need a new pair, and I'm just really hard on them, so whatever, that's fine. Okay, so our goal here is to get rid of some of this. I don't know why I didn't do this in the, did I do this in the bias facing video? Why didn't I have to do this in that video? Did it just work out that I didn't need to? Because I should have. Feeling like I didn't. Oh, your fancy glasses guy? Oh, interesting. My average price is $8. Yeah. Oh, there. Okay, that's what I am a little worried about. I've done it through Warby Parker and it was fine. They did really good. They had like a whole little thing that you use to measure it. We're going to do that. This looks better. And we're going to shove this in here. Oh, you know what? What is this side? This is the buttonhole side. You know what? This was the sewing fairy telling me trim down your ding dang seam allowance for your buttonhole. That's what I'm going to call that. She had to be on my side for something, and I'm going to make it that she was just on my side for that. Okay. I don't like that. I don't want this to peek out right here, so we're just pushing it in here. Okay, that's good. Ding dang is my new word. I say shoot dang, but ding dang too. Okay. I really knew how to milk a live stream about jeans, didn't I? All right. We good now. We're gonna, how did we start? We came along this and then we went that way. Okay. Clear the decks. Yeah, I think glasses are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Considering it's like one company that makes them all, because it's a monopoly. And it's really funny because the place I went to for my eye appointment, their frames were, and I'm not exaggerating, all of the brands were Ferrari, Tiffany, Swarovski, Michael Kors, Polo. There wasn't a normal brand in there at all, like none. I was like, what the heck? This is not a highbrow place. And you know what made me think? This took me a bit because I feel like I tend to be a little bit naive. But I think what it is, and Betsy Johnson, right? But Betsy Johnson would be lowbrow now, probably. Like Polo's kind of lowbrow now. Probably Hermes was in there. I don't know. But anyway, my pessimistic side is because a lot of people have been getting settlements for the fire that happened 6.5 years ago. And I'm thinking they're capitalizing on that. That they think people have disposable income. These are people literally that are devastated. Like, they're still not in real homes. And they're just like, yeah, I'm being pessimistic. Like, I don't know if that's the case. But it is really weird considering we don't even have a McDonald's or anything. And they are selling Ferrari glasses. Like, what? I was there in flip-flops. I don't know. So, yeah, that was my pessimism speaking. Okay, there we go. I feel better. Yep, exact. All right, that looks good. And look at that, no back stitch. Can't see, it's under here. I hid it. I feel good about that. So, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe that he was saying that with a straight face, but, and they're progressives. They are progressives. Maybe I could just do bifocals again. That would be fine with me. Maybe I should just do that, you know? I don't know. Anyway. You know what my hack is kids frames, because my head is so narrow and shallow this way. I'm really tall this way, but this way and from here to my ear is really short. The kids frames work really good. So not all of them, but a lot of them do, not for the little kids. And sometimes those kids frames are indestructible. So, and they're cheaper. Not much, but they're a little cheaper. And I could tell both times when I was there, they were really dubious. I could tell they were like, oh, great, someone just trying to get cheap glasses. And I said, well, let me know what you think. Like, does this work? And they were both like, oh, those actually fit you really good. I'm like, yeah, that's why I picked them, you know? So anyway, all right. We made it. This would have taken me 2.5 hours to sew without you. So thanks for the journey. Not that I'm blaming anything on you. So yeah, they turned out good though. Maybe a red buttonhole. You hold us back. Yeah, they turned out good. I think they turned out really nice. I'll overlock the, look at how thready these are. Oh, this is my serger thread, but they are pretty thready. I feel like I made these look harder to sew. I was not in a hurry. Anyway, yay. So I've got the underwears. I got these, and I have one shirt, and I just need to sew one more, and my birthday gift will be complete. Capsule wardrobe this year. It worked out as a capsule wardrobe, which I love, so. Anyway, all right, you guys, well, thanks for hanging out with me. It's kind of dark, sorry. I literally can't tell, but it looks like it's kind of dark. Next week, Wednesday, the full belly adjustment, or more like the pattern's too flat for you in front. Yeah, right, Nancy? I used to do that too with certain dance codes. I fit in the largest kid size. Some of them didn't work though. And you save a lot. Anyway. And then workshops next week for Gildies. And maybe some pop-up live streams with the camp shirt. So watch out for those. Have a great weekend, and maybe I'll see some of you at the social Zoom tomorrow if you're in the guild. Open to everybody, and yeah, hope the weather treats you good. Nice seeing you all. Bye, guys.